Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our show tonight. We are going to try to answer some of your questions about Disney's new reservation system to get into the park. Once again, we have Joe and Mark with us, our resident experts, and we're going to start off and I'm going to turn it over to them.
Well, we are back, and what a day it has been. I don't know about y'all, but as I said, I think I had 10 new gray hairs on my head after all the chaos today. So we've got a lot to talk about. I know in the past we tried to cram it into about 15 minutes. I don't think we'll make it 15 minutes today with just how much information was released and how much we need to say, but we will try to move through it pretty quickly. Hopefully we can cover a lot of the questions and the preliminary stuff, and then obviously we'll take Q&A at the end. Mark, you ready?
Sure, let's go.
Let's get it going, right? Okay, so as we all know, parks are opening on 7/11 for Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, and then the other two on 7/15. And with that comes down, that's what, 2 weeks from tomorrow? 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Let's not forget, Hollywood or Epcot's going to start food and wine on 7/15 when they open.
Yes, expanded food and wine / hybrid flower and garden type of thing. So that's going to be exciting. I get double time this year, which is really good. It sounds like 20 booths versus normally there's like 30 to 35. I think it's definitely trimmed down, but that's a good thing. I think I was a little nervous that wouldn't happen, and seeing it, it's definitely. It gives something to look forward to in the fall, especially with the other stuff that had to get canceled.
And a little surprise.
It'll be nice. Hopefully it starts out well. So with that in mind, I want to jump kind of into just some of the new stuff in terms of the various new rules, procedures, things like that we got going on. There's some minor changes. So first off, masks. I know we talked about this in the last one. Bee's had a firsthand experience now with Vero going through the mask fun times. They did quickly switch that to 2-year-olds instead of just 3-year-olds. It was kind of a weird thing that I saw them change it. And I was sitting there talking to somebody and I was like, I'm guessing it's probably related to 2-year-olds are up and mobile and they can run around and they're not just in a stroller all day. So maybe that's why they
are up and running around. That's probably why.
So, just because they're trying to make sure that, a kid in a stroller is not really a problem, but I guess a kid running around and touching things and licking windows and stuff like that, it's probably where they were thinking. So that changed. Bee, tell me a little bit about Vero, like with the pool situation. What did you see there a little bit?
We got to the gate. They asked us if we had our masks. We parked the car, walked up the steps. Do you have your masks? We get inside to get in line. Do you have your masks? We get to the gate, to registration. Wear your masks. The only place we were not required to wear our mask was on the pool deck. It wasn't necessarily enforced, and there were more people complaining about people not wearing them than people complaining about having to wear them that I overheard. The one thing that's going to be different here is that we are going to have to wear our masks on the pool deck here. We don't have to wear them while in the water, but on the pool deck. And that's not just Disney. That is a new Orange County rule. Anytime you are not in your own personal space, your home, your hotel room, your resort room, you have to wear a mask.
Yep. Yeah, that came down yesterday, which was a big. I think I've seen it a lot everywhere, so it's going to be kind of the way it is, I think. So it'll be interesting if they allow any exceptions, but right now, I think you got to plan on having a mask in the pool area no matter what. So be prepared. Yep. The next one that I wanted to talk about that they're kind of in terms of the social distancing and all that stuff is the mobile check-in things that we've been talking about. Obviously, they were already working towards getting people to check in with their resort reservations. I was told that they're actually expanding the MDX app as we speak to allow for a chat feature, so people don't even have to go downstairs if they have a question for the front desk. They can literally just text, use the chat feature on the app just to limit interactions. But a big thing that came out yesterday was the dining check-in we obviously have the quick service where you can already order and pick stuff up that way. The new mobile dining check-ins for all these various sit-down restaurants that are basically going to allow you to bypass the front desk in terms of.
But they're also saying you cannot go from resort to resort, that you can only eat at your own resort or Disney Springs.
So unless you have a formal dining reservation elsewhere, you can do that if you have a dining reservation, but they're not allowing you to come in. Yeah. With this mobile dining
check our room every day as usual.
Do they? Okay.
They did. Yeah.
So the mobile dining check-in, the whole premise of this is you're going to have your dining reservation in your MDX app. You click on the dining reservation. It's going to take you to an option to select things like, how many adults versus kids versus do you need a high chair? Are there any dietary restrictions? Any of those types of things that you would normally tell the person at the hostess stand. You follow through all that, click submit, then they send you a push notification back that your table's ready and where to go. So basically you bypass a lot of interaction there. A little impersonal, but I think it's kind of necessary for right now, at least for the short term, to allow people to not have to interact in person like that all the time. So any updates from your end, Mark? Have you seen anything?
No, I haven't seen anything more than what you said.
So I had a chance to actually get a glimpse of what that dining check-in looks like, and it's pretty simple. As I say, you just click, and you're done. It's really easy. But you got to, we know Disney. Disney tries to make their stuff user-friendly. Sometimes the IT doesn't work as well as we want it to, but
they better step up the internet with all of
they're going to have to
technology that's going to be used.
Yeah, but the nice part is most of their stuff is user-friendly in terms of just simple clicks and everything else. So I wanted to, we're going to move to the Know Before You Go page. This is just a quick link to make sure everybody has the page to go to. This is where everything's being updated on a daily basis. I practically have this thing running on my desktop nonstop right now, refreshing all the time to see if anything's new. If you scroll to the bottom of that page is where you can look at various things in terms of the dining changes or resort reservations or anything like that. Each one has a section. Obviously, they added the park reservation section today, and that's what we're about to dive into. So just keep that handy because it's changing daily. And for some of us that have upcoming reservations very soon, you're going to want to know really quick. So worth having that handy and maybe bookmarking it. But let's jump into the hot topic, the park reservation system. This is the thing that we wanted to talk about. We talked about a little bit before and said it's coming. Well, it's here. And we're just it's gonna be kind of a learning phase. I will say this. So come next Monday, I'm going to be booking myself. And so I will do a screen capture video, try to do a tutorial on how it works for those of you that aren't going to have a chance to use it next week. We'll post that, as well as we're going to do a live video kind of to recap it all. So be ready for next Monday when we get that all going. So first things first, I wanted to talk about the important parts, the important dates that are coming up in terms of this stuff. And I know a lot of you have already read it in the post we talked about today. June 22nd, so Monday, we obviously and a bunch of people are going to be there on site for DVC reservations, but it's also going to be a busy day in terms of them launching this new system. Those of you that have a on-site hotel reservation and park tickets or an annual pass, one of the two, you have to have it purchased, will have the opportunity to book your portion of your park reservation starting on Monday, reaching all the way out to 9/26 of next year, 21. So way out. That really is for people that have maybe have a cash reservation that they booked at close to 500 days out, and
Joe, like hold on. I read that, maybe I'm wrong, that AP okay, I see it, June 26th. You said, forget it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So
okay, all right.
So either way, so and what's really cool is this reservation system. They've really built off of the FastPass system. I mean, a lot of the fundamentals are very much the same. So it's length of stay for on-site guests. You can book the whole thing. You're getting a chance to kind of be ahead of everybody if you've got an on-site reservation versus if you don't. That's Mark, you kind of agree there. Looks pretty much.
Well, yeah, that's what it looks like initially, but I don't see anything that says if you have an on-site reservation, you get any advantage until they get past this initial phase.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You can tell right now that they're just trying to get this initial phase going. Those people that have reservations coming up, it'll be interesting to see as things progress a little bit in terms of the timing, as far as like dining reservations and all that stuff. It's gonna change for reservations that are probably 90, 120 days out or more. This may look very different for some people when they get to that point. The next important date is next Wednesday, which would be the 24th. That is the day that you can go call Disney, call your TA, and buy park tickets. If you do not have them already. But it only applies for stays that start after January 1st of next year. So if you have a trip that's booked up until 12/31/20, you can't buy park tickets yet for it. And we'll get into that in a second. But if you do have a trip that's already booked for next year, say you're going going for spring break next March, you can actually, but you didn't have your park tickets on the 24th, you can actually go get them taken care of by calling Disney, call member services, call your TA. That gives you the chance to get in and start making reservations ahead of this next date of the 26th, which is when annual pass holders have a chance to book without an on-site reservation. So giving those people that have a hotel way out in the future the chance to still get a little bit of an advantage over AP holders that don't have it. So that leads into the next one, June 26th. So that's Friday. We're looking at AP holders that do not have an on-site reservation. We're going to get into the specifics a little bit on that in terms of what you're allowed to do. But basically, locals that don't have plans to stay at a hotel or anything like that. And then lastly, on the 28th, anybody, so that'd be that'd be Sunday. We're looking at anybody that's got regular park tickets that is scheduled to stay off-site or whatever. All these dates so far that I've been told, it's 7 a.m. Eastern, just like the FastPass system when it comes to booking. So get ready to go live bright and early, especially if you're a West Coaster. You need to get up nice and early. Have you heard anything else, Mark? I didn't know if you heard anything different.
No, I haven't heard anything different. So everything is on par so far.
Kind of play with it there. So lots of big dates next week. And we're going to kind of go in. I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that's going to transpire between these two, these various dates. But those are the ones you need to be watching for. So big thing I can say, and I bet I'm guessing Mark and B can agree, if you've got a hotel reservation and you have your park tickets, better be ready Monday, because everybody's going to be doing this Monday for the next, we're talking, how is that? That's 400 and something days worth of park reservations are going to be going up.
It's about 15 months worth. So.
It's a lot. So
you do not have a reservation and you do not have park tickets and you want to go, please check with our rental department.
Yes.
Because we have points, there are rooms available, and we do guarantee you that we will get you a ticket. And
that's a big announcement.
Yeah. So
big announcement. If you book with DVC Shop and you let them know when you are booking the reservation that you need to buy tickets, they will guarantee that they will get you tickets. Otherwise, they'll refund the reservation. So keep that in mind. If you're in a spot where you were considering going and you didn't, you weren't sure, it's a great opportunity to jump on that train and kind of a little bit risk-free there. So let's jump into the reservation system as far as how it functionally works. How about we do that?
Sure.
I've had a chance to actually see some images on how this system is going to work from TAs. It's pretty simple, and I wanted to reiterate, it looks very much like the FastPass system in a lot of ways. You make sure you link your tickets in My Disney Experience, which we already know how to do. Make sure your hotel reservation's linked in My Disney Experience. Then from there, you create a party just like you would if you were booking fast passes, and you pick everybody's My Disney Experience profiles. You go through. From there, you select the date. How the calendar is going to look is you're gonna see a whole month calendar, and you can cycle through the various months or whatever. Each day is going to be highlighted. If it's highlighted green, that means that all 4 parks have availability to book a reservation that day. If it's highlighted yellow, that means 1 or more parks is completely full for the day. And when you click on that specific date, it will tell you specifically which one or more are blocked out already. So you go through, you pick that, you go to the next screen, and you basically confirm everything through. So it's really no different than FastPass in that sense. You have a chance to book up to 12 people, okay, if you have it for your party reservation. The one thing that I was told is that you can't try to cheat the system. And if you have, like, say, 6 of you are staying on site and you wanted to bring a buddy that's a local and isn't staying on site, there's no way it's going to let you sneak somebody else like that in. Everybody's got to be able to qualify on their own. Mark, any thoughts?
Yeah, everything sounds just as everything I've seen so far is the same. So
it's going to be.
Haven't heard anything different
As I said, from the system they're doing. It stinks because Disney's taking a little bit longer on some of this stuff, but we got to remember that Disney is very methodical in their approaches because they're trying to make it right, and they're trying to do it right the first time. Will some of this evolve and change over time? Yeah, absolutely. They're going to have some hiccups that they didn't see, but they're trying to make it very user-friendly, very, very simple to use. I do know that for this reservation system, initially, it will only work on the web browser. They're working on adding it to the app, but as of right now, it's only going to work on the web browser. So make sure you're prepared on Monday to be at a computer. I wouldn't even trust being on your phone like on your mobile browser. I would make sure you're at your computer just to be safe. Let's move forward. So though, so that's just generally how the system's going to work. The important part today was making sure we had the dates right, knowing when you can go, who can book tickets. I know we're going to get into some questions regarding, hey, I've got my reservation for DVC, but I don't have park tickets. We're going to have to talk about that here in a second. It's not, there's some little nuances, some tricky things here, but the simple process of, for those people that do have a park reservation, hotel reservation and have park ticket spot, it's very easy. It's very, very simple. So just be ready to go live and click through, and you have to pick one by one. Okay, you can't pick like multiple days at a time. You got to go one by one, go back and do it again. So it could take a little while. If you've got a 10-night trip, you're going to be sitting there clicking through and picking park days for a while.
Yep.
But it looks to be very simple. Make sure you follow all the way through. I was told that, you got to make sure you actually hit review, get to the review and confirm page and confirm it, because as you're sitting there, everybody else can be booking and things will change. Inventory will change. So make sure you're moving through.
The same way with the Run Disney event. You can be putting in your information and it's available. And when you click pay, it's gone.
Yeah. So make sure you're moving quick.
Don't go answer the phone or let the dog out in the middle of trying to get your reservations. Get it and get it done.
Yeah. Focus on this, put all distractions away and keep them. Okay, so that's the general rundown of the system. A couple other important things I wanted to talk about. Booking limits, I think I mentioned this. So annual pass holders can book up to 14 days if they have a qualifying hotel reservation up to 14 days. If you have if you're an AP holder and you've got a 20-night vacation, you're only able to book 14. So keep that in mind. If you do not have a qualifying reservation and you start booking towards the end of the week, what was it, 26th, you're capped at 3. Okay. Now I've got the question, can you get, is it, length of stay, and then you can add 3 more days later on? I haven't been able to get an answer yet. I'm guessing that it's going to be, you get 3 or length of stay, whichever is greater, but no more than one of the two. So if you've got a 10-night stay, you can book your 10, but you're not going to be able to add 3 more days somewhere down in the calendar.
All right. I would expect that they'll hold to these numbers initially, and then see how many reservations are getting picked up at each park, and then maybe adjust it down the road. So, but I think Monday for certain, it's not going to change from what this.
No, and I was telling you guys before, I was kind of surprised. I really thought it would be more like a 6 or 7, maybe 10 days that they would offer for the cap for APs. Because I mean, it's a 7 and a 30-day rolling period normally for FastPass. So they're being very stringent. So either that tells me one of two things. Either they're really trying to give all APs a better chance, because I mean, we know there are a lot of annual pass holders that don't have hotel reservations. This gives them a little bit better chance to be able to book some days here and there. But it also might mean that they're very, very heavily restricting capacity, and they're not expecting much past hotel guests being available.
We also got a lot of AP holders that are Florida, Georgia, right around here, that'll drive down for the day and stay at the park, stay at the resorts, but are not DVC. They're cash paying. Well, right now they can't do that.
Right.
So I think that's
3,
that also.
But it's pretty strict in terms. And then reminder too, blackout dates still apply. They did not change anything with blackouts. So if you've got a theme park select or silver pass, summertime's still blacked out. Gold are typical around Easter and Christmas type of stuff. So keep that in mind. And so that's generally the booking limits for annual pass holders. Jumping into the next kind of big news, and I shouldn't say it's big news, Mark, because we talked about this last time. But no hopping. I think that was kind of expected, and this kind of changed, just kind of confirmed everything for us. One thing I did want to say, kind of in tandem with the no park hopping, as well as the pass limits in terms of annual pass holders, they did just send out a message and to notify all pass holders that you're getting an extra month on top of your extension. So good news if you hadn't seen that. They were already extending it, 117 days, but they're going to add another month for everybody as well, just because of the restrictions in terms of the reservation system, the park hopping, those types of things, not having full access like you normally would. Right. So everybody gets an extra month. So that's pretty cool.
And to put this in a little bit of context, with the food and wine starting on July 15th, this would be a situation where Epcot would get overrun with people.
Yes.
It would. I mean, you got to think everybody go, they'd be like, because especially with all the construction right now at Epcot, I mean, there's a lot of people it's a partial day park in the first place. Right. So a lot of people are going to Kingdom till 3:00, and then I'm going over to Epcot. So
weekends, it's all locals and it's packed and it's wall to wall and you can't move. And now they're opening it even earlier. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With fewer booths.
Yeah.
So this is important. And I think that it's one of those things, they need to roll the system out and make sure it's working. And they need to make sure all of the various transportation components of safety and cleaning and sanitizing, how that works. By not allowing park hopping, it limits some of that type of stuff and the movement. Hopefully down the road it changes, but this was kind of an inevitable thing to come around. So keep that in mind. If you do have a park hopper ticket, you'll be allowed to make modifications to that ticket in the coming days. That can be, you can apply the park hopper value to extend your ticket if you want, it sounds like. You can get a refund for that portion if you have a park hopper. So just be on the lookout. And one thing I would say is if you're getting ready to book reservations next week, book them first. Get all that done before you start playing with the park hopper thing. Make sure you have all that taken care of in case something happens and your ticket gets screwed up or something. I wouldn't want to mess with any tickets right now until you knew you had everything booked. So just keep that in mind. But you should be able to get a refund and stuff like that. So just hang tight for a little while when they work to get those released. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like, hey, your first day in the parks, come to guest services. We'll give you a $75 gift card for your park hopper portion, and then you go spend it somewhere else. So now moving on to, so specifically I want to talk about guests, those of you that have 2020 reservations. So between 7/11 of 2020 to the end of the year, 12/31, ticket sales still remain suspended. This was not surprising, but it's definitely, it's probably the most talked about issue today after this was all released was, hey, I don't have park tickets yet, but I have a DVC reservation. How do I get them? Ticket sales are still suspended until they give everybody a chance that's on that list of various dates to go book their stuff. So they're giving on-site reservations a chance first, and they're giving AP holders without on-site next, and then they're giving everybody else that has day tickets purchased last. They're not going to give anybody an opportunity to buy a new ticket right now that hasn't already spent the money before those people that already have. And it stinks, especially for people like DVC members that spend a lot of money there and spend a lot of time there. But in the end, Disney's got an obligation to take care of somebody who's already spent money on a park ticket. They can't just say, sorry, see you later. They're already doing that to a certain extent by allowing certain groups to go first. So if you've got a reservation between now and the rest of the year, and you don't have park tickets, your options are going to be a little bit different than those that do have park tickets or future reservations in 2021. They will bring ticket sales back sometime later this summer. I'm optimistic it won't be too far down the road. I think they probably want to give everybody a chance to get all this stuff booked. And by the first or second week of July, they'll probably have a pretty good idea what parks look like in terms of the reservations and stuff like that. And they can go back, reassess, and start releasing more inventory. What do you think, Mark, in terms of timing?
Yeah, I agree. One thing I want to add here is some people are reporting that they've shut down the sales of APs. So that may be an issue that
that'll be interesting.
It's not going to be an option until they start up with the sales again next week.
It's available today, but as we know, this stuff is changed it changes every minute. So it wouldn't surprise me, honestly, that if they're really trying to completely lock down tickets, it's a good way, because they're going to have a lot of people coming back wanting to buy APs.
They're going to have to open them up to people that are on property. They're going
to have to. I think they will as soon as they have, we have that. What's that last date? We said the 26th. Sorry, the 28th. This allows people that don't have on-site reservations or annual pass. So for those people to book on the 28th, I would think most of those tickets have been allotted towards their park reservations within a week or two. I would think. I mean, I don't see people dragging this way out. So by 4th of July, shortly after 4th of July, they're probably going to have a pretty good assessment in terms of how many park tickets they can still afford to release for inventory for each park, and they'll come back and do it, and they'll probably do it as fast as they can so they can get people in. But in the end, you're going to have to wait a little bit. It's just going to be the way it's going to be, and so just hang tight if you don't have them, especially if you've got a trip later in the year. I think you'll have some time to get park tickets and get things booked.
Just make sure when you're doing your booking, hit Magic Kingdom first, because that's going to sell out.
Probably first.
You know that.
And
then on the second half, on the 15th, hit Epcot first, because it's going to go out. Oh, I don't know, Star Wars and
Yeah,
man, that's a competition.
Yeah. But yeah, make sure. Yeah, you're not going to have the option to book anything other than Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom those first few days. So jump to get what you can booked. But I think those of you that have July and August reservations and do not have park tickets yet, you need to pay very, very close attention to the updates, and it needs to be something you maybe check more frequently than you normally do, because the moment you have a chance to buy tickets, you want to be able to do it and do it quick. So for those of you that said they're farther out, October, November, whatever it may be, you're going to have a little more time, and hopefully the reservations won't book up as fast. Now, I do know, especially with DVC, inventory is pretty thin already this fall, just because all these points have been funneled that direction. So it'll be interesting to see how fast those future dates book up on the calendar for parks. But at least for those of you that are later in the year, you have some time to buy your tickets. But for those of you that have upcoming close reservations, it's time to start making some decisions. If you're in a situation where you're almost to your holding window, 31 days, you might need to make a judgment call and say, hey, we're not going, or we're going to do a resort only trip, and if we get tickets, lucky type of thing. So be prepared. But as of right now, ticket sales have been suspended through the end of the year. Now, jumping forward to 2021, you can buy tickets. So on the 24th, they're going to release 24th, 25th-ish. They're going to release ticket packages and just standard tickets for anybody who wants to travel in 2021. So for those of you that I mentioned this earlier, that's one of those key dates next week. If you are traveling in 2021, you don't have tickets yet, be ready to buy them if you can on the 24th or 25th, so you can get ahead of all the annual pass holders that are going to start booking days. Now, I don't see annual pass holders booking way out, because they would be burning their days for nothing. But
and don't forget, we still have confirmed reservations.
Yes, and so keep that in mind too. I mean, the hotel reservation will help, and in terms of now, if you have tickets, if you don't, it doesn't really matter. But for the future, if you have a trip already planned for next year, for 2021, whether it's already on the books or you are waiting for your 11-month window to get here, I would recommend, if you can buy the tickets on the 24th or 25th, get it done so you can get out ahead of the AP. But just keep that in mind, that you can buy tickets, and cash packages are going to start back up for next year as well on the 24th. So that's kind of generally for 2021. The next thing on 2021 I want to cover, as I said, ticket packages are going to open and go on sale. Some of they were kind of vague on their dates there when I was looking, but some are 6/27, 6/28. They're going to start releasing ticket packages and stuff for next year completely. So looks like they're trying to get back to the normal in terms of next year. So that's a good thing for those of you that are cash paying guests and you were looking at getting a package next year. You'll have the chance to start really planning that going forward. Now, another big thing that we found out, and this is just kind of a couple little points before we get to Q&A. Magic bands gone.
Touchy subject right there.
Yep.
Here's the deal. Magic bands will still work. The technology is not changing in that sense. You can still buy magic bands. You're just not going to get free ones, the solid color ones, when you have a hotel reservation starting next year. You can still buy the upgraded ones at a discounted price. But they're going to start rolling out the special, just like they did with the the room key option on My Disney Experience. They're going to roll out a touch point system that allows you to basically use your magic band via phone. So keep that in mind. But magic bands will still work. If you got one of the decorative ones, fancy ones, you can still wear them and still use them for the time being. But you're just not going to get free ones anymore. But I think
key cards are still an option. Keys of the World cards are still an option, though. So.
Yes.
Surprisingly free.
Yeah, you can get those free. I'm still surprised that you can still have those. But I think this is probably not a big deal for most. I think most of us probably have way too many magic bands as it is. So
I do not have about 40 over there. I do not know what you're talking about. It's not a Dooney and a Princess Running.
I don't know how many I have in my owner's locker, but it's way too many. So those are going to go away. But the nice part is too, you'll have your phone. You'll have the ability to do some of this stuff from your phone, which we'll have to admit, most of us remember our phone before we remember our magic band in a lot of places. Right. So that'll be nice. Our teeth. So as you can see, a lot more stuff going to MDX. They're going to have to do some really tweaking and really make that app really work, because there's going to be a lot of functionality in it going forward, which is pretty cool though. They did add, I think I mentioned this in our last stream, when it comes to like mobile paying for quick service, you can now put gift cards on there, which is a big plus change. So when you're mobile ordering quick service, you can add a gift card just to use that way, instead of before you had to use a credit card or a debit card. So that's good too. All right, so let's jump in. So, like I always like to follow up before we get to the Q&A. Remember your sponsors, DVC Shop. They take care of us in our group. Be with the resale department. They've got several. Here's a couple special resale highlights that they wanted to put out there. I know they've been busy with that stuff. The rental department. I think the rental department is the most valuable thing they got. Nothing against B right now, but rentals are great because for a lot of people, rentals are the only way you're booking a hotel reservation for 2020. So, and
I
then,
sold 3 contracts today. Thank you very much.
and then they're now offering guaranteed park tickets, which those seem to be a commodity that's rising in price rapidly.
Only
So,
if you book with us, and only
yes,
if you request it at the time of booking.
Yep, make sure you do that. So there's a couple things. Just remember them, though. They do a good job sponsoring this page. This is, I think, now the largest DVC group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's
now if you get on our Facebook group and you start crying and whining about needing 2 adult tickets, somebody might come to your rescue.
Thanks. I can thank my friends for a last minute invite to my vacation. So yes, thank everybody over at DVC Shop. They do an awesome job. They help us put these videos on.
And Christina.
Christina for allowing us to put these videos on for the group. And I hope that we've been informative. We're going to jump into questions. I know we got a lot. So
we're going to
take it and pass them out.
Okay. I'm going to hit the first 3 really quick and just zip it before I throw it over to the guys. Melissa Wright wants to know, will you be in touch with your clients to let them know what's going on? Melissa, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of clients. We use this forum here in the Facebook group to answer questions and try to keep you up to date. If there's something specific we haven't answered for you, shoot us an email, send us a PM. We'll jump on that. Facebook user wants to know, Brian Taft, one more question. I have 2 AP and 5 Hopper multi-day tickets. Since we have resorts already booked and linked, is it safe to assume I can book everything up on Monday? Since everyone has your tickets, yes, you can do that. That should not be an issue at all.
As long as the tickets are valid for when you're trying to go. That's the key.
Exactly.
That's the key.
Let's see. All right. Mark, you want to take this one? Facebook user says, my question is, the email states if you have park hopper and resort package, you can modify your ticket. Well, we didn't book a package. We have a DVC room with tickets purchased separately. So how does that work? And for the record, I think it's if it's me or my direct family, we have APs, but 2 of the people on our reservation have park hoppers.
Well, the ticket type won't matter as long as you have a valid ticket for the dates you want to go into the park, and they're attached to the users, the people who need to who are going to go into the park. The thing to remember is that this is a reservation for each person, not just it's not like booking a dining reservation where you say I have a party of 6. Exactly. You're booking reservations for each person, so each person has to be eligible to book for that day.
Yep.
So, if you have each person has a valid ticket for the day you want to go, you should be fine to be able to book them on Monday.
Yep. Now it'd be a different story if you had those 2 people that had park hoppers were local friends and they're not on the hotel reservation.
Right. If they're not on a reservation, that would be a good problem.
As long as you have those 2 components together, you're good.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Jay, this is for you. Holly Robinson Bryant, this is my question. We aren't going until September 1st, 2021. Now 4 of us have APs, but 2 don't have tickets yet. Obviously haven't booked our rooms because we can't until October. Absolutely no idea where we stand with this new reservation system.
Well, the cool part is in 2021, you'll have a chance to buy tickets here next week if you'd like to. If you just want to buy regular tickets, park hopper, and you could even buy park hoppers because I would imagine that park hopping will be back by that far, that far in advance. Right. So you'll be able to buy tickets this next week and start the booking process for those. The issue was you're not going to have a hotel reservation. It's going to carry length of stay. So I'm guessing that you'll be able to book at least up to the 26th, which is their kind of cutoff date right now. You may have a few days if you carry over the 26, 20, 27, 28, whatever, that you may have to wait until you actually have your hotel to match up. But you'll at least be able to book some if you want. Yeah. But as I said, I don't see a lot of tickets being used and booked that far out yet.
Right.
Local APs are not going to go burn one of their 3 days next September. They're going to be booking them as soon as they can.
Book them now.
Yeah. And then Other than that, you have to deal with cash package reservations that start to get out that far, but I don't see Disney selling a ton of cash packages in the near term, just to try to keep capacity levels down and everything else. So I wouldn't worry too much, but you should be able to buy tickets and book a certain portion of it next week.
Okay. All right, Mark, this is for you. We've answered this, but there's a lot. This is on here several places. This is Facebook user, and it says, if we have a DVC reservation for October, but no tickets, how do we buy tickets? Also, I have seen that discount gold pass for DVC not an option for purchase on the website anymore. It's not an option for resale. I will say that.
Right.
So talking, I'm going to look to see if it's even shown.
So the main issue with this one is we don't know when they're going to start selling tickets again for 2020. So you're going to have to wait until they make that announcement of when they will be able to, you'll be able to buy tickets for your resort stay. They're going with the approach of letting everybody who has tickets and annual passes and resort reservations getting bookings, and then allowing 2021 people to get an opportunity to book theirs. Then you can go back. They'll go back and allow you to start booking or buying the tickets for this year and then booking. So it's not the ideal situation, but it's going to be it's going to have to. There's no two ways around it. It's the only thing you can do is wait until that announcement comes out.
Yeah, and this has been a question we've dealt with a lot over the last few weeks, even month, when they were like, "We don't have tickets, we don't have the." It came to we found out the truth today that they are being very specific that they're going to give everybody that has an existing ticket a chance, and you're going to have to wait for everything else. It's going to be interesting. Right. I'm looking at the Disney World website right now and trying to go straight to annual passes, and it reroutes me back to the new updates. So that makes me wonder if they've completely shut off APs as well. As I said, I looked at this not even an hour and a half ago, and that was still available. So they're making their adjustments on the fly, and I think that this really shows that they're really trying to cram it down and give everybody a chance next week to make their bookings before they release any more tickets to go.
Right.
Okay. All right. This also is Facebook user. Can you reserve 3 annual pass park dates as well as days for a future resort stay, or will reserving park days for your future resort stay negate your ability to reserve earlier days to visit with your annual pass? Specific example, we have annual passes. We are planning to visit the parks in July. We also have a reservation at the Riviera in August. If we reserve park days for our August Riviera trip, will we also be able to reserve our 3 park days? And we just got an answer on this. So Joe, take it away.
So here's the deal. It's going to be interesting because if you look at it in that perspective where it's, hey, I could take a couple days here and use them, and then I've got a trip in the future. Well, we book trips 11 months in advance. If you're if you're booking a catch room, it could be 500 days in advance. So they may have to find a way. It'll be interesting to see because we don't know yet how this is going to work in terms of being able to book. But they may have to work out a way that allows you to carry your 3 plus any qualifying resort reservations, or it may just cap it, and you're going to have to just deal with one or the other. But we're going to find out next week because there's going to be some people I'm sure that are going to have to test that directly to see. And I actually will. I'll give it a try. I'll try to book all my stuff for the first week of July while I'm on site, and then I'll try to book a few days that are outside of it because I am going to be staying off property for a couple days, and see if I'm able to book those 3 as well, or if it just locks me up. We'll find out.
Off property, what's that?
We did have someone call and talk to ticketing a little bit ago, right before we went online, and they were asking if they booked 1 night on property and 3 nights off property, could they make reservations for both the 3 nights off property using their AP and the 1 night using their one? They were told no, that the 1 night on property takes 2 reservation days.
Yeah, because you're booking check in and check out, so then you have 1 more to go. Check in
and check out. So they're counting that check-in day and check-out day as dates. Yep. And then they would have 1 day off property. So it's 3 days. Now, if you have 2 reservations, we don't know if they're allowing you to book multiple reservations right now.
Yeah.
Like if you have a July and a September and a December room reservation.
Right.
So that answer we don't have.
It'll be interesting. I mean, we all know that there's a nuance with APs before with FastPass. If you had two really close short trips together, and then it started to override with the 7 part FastPass days within 30-day rolling period.
Yep.
And so it was a weird nuance. There's going to be some of those. I'm sure we're going to be testing the waters on Monday. There's no doubt about it. But I don't think anybody has like a locked, I haven't been able to talk to anybody that can confirm one or the way the other.
Yeah. Mark.
Sure.
This is from Amy Meeker Taylor. Do I have to be able to see everyone's tickets in MDE to make reservations for them? Or do they just need to be on my friends list and have valid admission? Will they limit the number of days you can hold if you have a resort reservation? I have trips in July, August, and beyond. In the past, I've burned by the FastPass days limit when I had 2 trips in 60 days.
That's a good question. I might have to turn to Joe for this one because I know he spent a little more time on with the system. So have you seen anything on that would restrict them from booking this scenario?
I think I don't want to say something that's not going to be accurate. I think that it's one of those deals where as long as everybody's got valid tickets, we know you're good. I mean, they got to be on the family list. As long as they've got valid tickets, you're good. If we start playing this kind of short trips here and there thing, I have a feeling that you're going to get your 3 and you're going to be stuck.
Yeah.
I don't think, and I hope Disney's thought about this and kind of game planned it a little bit, because there are people that have trips booked, I've got one in 3 months, I've got one in 6 or whatever. Right. I hope that they've thought about that. And DVC is a little unique compared to cash guests because we tend to do like short trips and we do a lot more of them. Whereas cash guests may be a 7 or 10 nighter all in one and they're done and they don't come back for several years. Right. So it'll be interesting to see. But I don't want to say that it's going to work, and I don't want to say it's not, because as I said, this is going to be a trial and error thing on Monday.
Right.
I wish there was a way they would allowed us to get into the system and play with it a little bit.
Would have been nice.
Really. Hi, we have a video to do. We need to get in here.
I don't know anybody that high up to pull that trigger. So.
I may have just found somebody today. I'll have to talk to you about that. This is Facebook user, and we're going to go off the day subject. I think we've hit the tickets pretty good. It says when we select a date and park to visit, we will also have to select a time. Yeah. What will the time slots look like? Hoping all day is an option.
Okay, so I had this question a couple of times today, because it does say time, and it says that on the if you go to the page that they just uploaded today. From the preview I have seen from the TA meeting today, the time that it gives you is the full day's park hours. So I really don't see them having a system where it's like you can come from 9 to noon or 9 to 2, because there's just, we've seen how hard it is for them when they were trying to police Galaxy's Edge and kick people out. That didn't work. Right. There's no way they could do that for a whole park, right? There's just no way. So the only way they could is they would say, you come from 9 to 2, and then we're going to close the park down for 2 hours or whatever, and then we're going to allow a new fresh in. But that wouldn't make any sense until they start allowing park hopping, in my opinion.
Right.
No sense. So what I saw was it just gave the full park hours for the entire day. So it was like 9 to 9. I think that's what you're going to see. And I think it's maybe there so people can click on the day and they can see the park hours instead of having to shuffle back and forth to look at park hours on a different page. They can just click on Magic Kingdom and says, oh, it's 9 to 9, or I can click on Epcot and it's 9 to 11 or whatever the hours may be, instead of having to shuffle back and forth. So I think that's really all that's for. But I think it gives them the opportunity, for one, to implement a time frame in the future if they felt like maybe doing a park hopper split type of thing, or they're just integrating it the same as there are for Disneyland, because I think Disneyland's going to have something a little more detailed like that because it's a day park, a lot of local guests, that type of stuff.
Yeah. We've been on here for a while. We're going to go through some of these real quick. Facebook user, I have APs and reservations for July, September, and November. Dang, I need a cocktail with this anxiety. That's okay. We're getting Joe some hair color.
I need something severely.
You just need ears, Joe. That's all.
I know, man.
Mark covered it up. Talana Maria says, we did a call to hypothetically add an annual pass just before you started the show and were denied. Told they had suspended sales.
There we go.
That answers that question.
As I said, they'd make an announcement today and I would start digesting the material. And before I was even halfway done, there was another announcement. I'm like, okay. I mean, people are sending me stuff. I'm like, shuffling. And the notes, I've got more notes from things today than ever before. So it does not surprise me they changed that on us last minute here right before we started.
Let's see. Reservations. Sorry, I'm trying to go through these as quick as I can. What if you have multiple resort reservations and have unactivated APs? There you go. We chose via resort stays randomly and do parks at other times during our resort reservations and go back and forth between Disney and my retired dad's house in Florida.
Well, that goes back to the rule of a maximum of 3 on the APs, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, Disney treats an unactivated annual pass the same as an activated one in terms of this type of stuff. It worked the same way for Fast Pass. You could go book 60 days in advance without an activated AP. They treat it the same because they expect you to show up when you actually book your reservation. But as far as, going back and forth, you're going to be kind of playing with that 3 cap rule unless you have maybe multiple nights of more than 3 on site, then maybe you'll get a few more. But I think that you're probably going to be playing with that 3 number for a while.
Yeah.
Brian Taft, do we go to My Disney Experience to do all of this? If you're Rita's son, you should know and not ask me that question. Rita, you need to do something with your son if that's your son. Brian, yes, everything's going to be on MDE, and hopefully they're going to upgrade the internet at the park.
As I said before, the website is not the app right now.
Yes.
As far as the park reservation system, now the dining thing we talked about, the dining check-in, that is done via your mobile app, and they'll send push notifications. For those of you that don't have smartphones, it's time. Time to make it work, because
time to get rid of the Motorola flip phone and enjoy the rest of the world.
Around the bag.
Yeah, Facebook user. Can we go in the mornings and then go back in the afternoon?
Yeah, from what I've seen, everything is normal with that. You can go in and come back, and you go out and come back as long as it's the same park.
Yeah, I mean, if they're allotting one, you have to stay in the same park all day. There's no reason they can't let people come and go.
Yeah, and going back to the other comment about doing the timing on it, there's no easy way for them to police. You're in there from 9 to 12, and now you got to get out.
Imagine them. I mean, they know where you're at because they've got your magic bands. They know where everybody's at. But can you imagine them like escorting people out the front because they were over?
Kind of like the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
So that's not going to happen. As I said, they may have something in the future that allows them to play with that a little bit, but I think that's just being a feature added for potential use later.
Yeah. Jackie Delaney, I have an AP that was extended to November 2020. When should I purchase my renewal? Take it away, guys.
So if it was extended November 2020, you may check again because it may be now December 2020 with the extra month. So double check that. But renewals, how they work is you have to renew 60 days from expiration, and then you have up to 30 days after. So whatever your new expiration ends up being, whether that be in November or December, whatever, you have 60 days from that date to renew, and you can wait up to 30 days after.
Facebook user, I just jumped in. What is this 3 thing I am hearing you guys talk about?
The 3 thing is the annual pass 3 days limit. That's what we're talking about.
Reservation.
You don't have an on-site reservation.
On-site reservation.
But you have an annual pass. You get 3 days total.
Right. If you are staying on property, it is the length of your stay. Mindy Roberts is also asking about, did it say up to 14 days of reservation with resort stay, even if that is split between 2 stays? It's the length of your stay.
Yeah, it should be like
14 days.
Especially here initially because they're allowing everybody to book so far out. It's not like we're playing like with like 60-day window and it's rolling forward. Right now, we're so far in advance that none of that will matter. Now, as things roll forward and they get more to you're allowed to book your park reservations X amount of days in advance and stuff, then maybe that will change a little bit and that'll evolve. But right now, you'll be able to book the whole thing because, like for me, I've got a 3 split stay because of membership number stuff. And I'll be able to book all of them just because they're all still within that window that we're allowed to book.
So let me ask you a question. If I go in on the 22nd and book 3 nights on the 11th, 3 days on the 11th, 12th, and 13th to go to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, because I'm staying there. And then as soon as those 3 days are up on the 15th, I go and use my AP to book 3 more nights. That should work, shouldn't it?
Good. As long as you do all of those things.
Theory, yeah.
It's probably a rolling thing, right? So
that's what I'm thinking. Once you use those,
you drop a day, you can add a day. Drop a day, you can add a day.
Exactly. It's like walking a reservation.
Yep. And by the way, I can't remember. Did we mention that there's an annual pass preview? Did we talk about that? I can't remember. Annual pass.
No, we didn't mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I might have overlooked that. Annual pass preview, July 9th and 10th, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. That was just announced earlier tonight. I'm guessing they'll probably use the same system as they use for Moonlight Magic and Run Disney events in terms of the randomizer and all that stuff. But we'll find out more. But yeah, the 9th and 10th for annual pass holders. And it looks like pretty much every annual pass. Theme park select, weekday select, all the way up. So keep that in mind. No announcement on DVC preview. I think we're getting a little into a tight window where it might not be possible anymore because I know cast member previews are the 7th and the 8th. And I don't see them doing DVC before cast member previews. Right. So it would either be they correlate a DVC preview with annual passes kind of the same day, and it's just everybody gets to go, or they don't do them at all. Or maybe they do. I guess they could do a DVC preview the next week for Epcot and Hollywood Studios, potentially. But yeah, so keep that in mind. You have a chance to do a preview. I'm going to give it a try for the 10th. We'll see if we can. And as far as it goes, you can take a guest, but the guest must also be a qualifying AP. You cannot just take a random person that you want.
Okay. Guys, I know we're not answering all these questions, but a lot of them are the same exact thing.
Right.
So it's just
the biggest question is tickets. If I don't have tickets, how do I get them?
That's the big thing.
And I really wish I had a better answer for you.
Really.
Hey, call this person. You can get tickets. But in the end, just this will evolve. It'll progress. Give it a little bit of time. In just 10 days from now, things will be very different because everybody will have a chance to book all this stuff. Disney will already have their data to know how many tickets they can release for inventory for the future rest part of 2020. Things will progress, and we've seen how fast it can happen in just a day. So
yeah. Somebody is asking about water parks, and we don't know.
Yeah, there's no word on those.
There's been no announcement on that yet.
No.
So they're not even open. So no reservations. And I saw it a while ago, and I can't find it now. Someone asked, does everybody in their entire party need to go to the same park the same day?
I would not think so. I would not think they would require that.
No, in terms of your family and friends list, you can go different ways, right?
Right.
When you're booking the actual park days, if you select a party, say it's us three hanging out in a room, right? And so I go book I click B, Mark, and Joe. Mm-hmm. I have to book the same park when I do that, but I can go back and say if I instead B wanted to go to Magic Kingdom and I wanted to go to Animal Kingdom, I would just have to do 2 separate processes to do that.
I'm going food and wine. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so he's going to Epcot. So we have to,
I'm going, Mark.
If you select a group or a party up to 12 people at one given time, all those have to go to the same park. You're processing the transaction for everybody all at once. But you can go back and individually piece it out if people want to separate.
All right. I think that is the majority of the questions. It's the same questions being asked over in different ways. Yeah.
Make sure that I covered everything that I had jotted down. Mark, do you have anything off the top of your head that we should have talked about? I forgot.
It's not exactly related to this, but one thing I'll throw out there is when dining reservations comes online, if you want to book dining reservations in the park, you need a park ticket, a park reservation, and I'm assuming they're changing the dining reservation system so that it will verify those before it allows you to book a dining reservation in the park.
Yep, and that's
a big change.
Today, I think that they're probably not going to roll out dining reservations 7-Eleven or beyond until probably 4th of July-ish, that kind of window, just because they want to see everybody get a chance to book their stuff.
I think so too.
So give that time. They may do a special little window if they have to, just kind of a shortened one for people, kind of like they just did, where you have to call in. But hopefully within, the next 10 days, 12 days, everybody, they'll have a really good picture of all those park tickets that are sitting there right now that are waiting to be used, where they're going. And then they can release other tickets, and they can also open dining up to the various places. So yeah, dining's that's one that's still up in the air. We got to wait a little bit longer.
Yep.
So guys, we want to thank Joe and Mark both for being here. They're extremely knowledgeable. They help us a lot. Remember, we can help you with confirmed reservations and tickets if you book through us. We will be back on Monday. Joe's going to play with the system. Seth, my boss, is going to play with the system. We're going to compare notes. It'll be another quick show, hopefully. Well, not quite quick, but that's under an hour.
Monday morning is going to be interesting. Disney is going to have more site traffic Monday morning than they probably ever have before.
Yeah.
So be patient, people, because in the end, we know sometimes this IT stuff gets a little crazy, and they're about to be having people trying to book reservations for 400 plus days out.
If you've never registered for a Disney race, you're in for an experience, because I just did finish Princess last week.
Yeah, it was a So just be prepared. It's going to be, you're going to have, there's going to be lag time. Use good internet.
Not Disney.
Don't try to use your phone. Use your computer.
You're better off with Chrome. We have found registering for Princess races or any of the races, that Chrome browser works the best when everybody's trying to get in. It seems to, and if you can get 3 or 4 going at the same time, you might be better off. You understand how we register for Princess Race weekend.
Double check this weekend that you have your park tickets linked. If you're seeing everybody in there, make sure you have your hotel reservations linked and you're seeing everybody in there. You don't want to be in a situation where you start the process and says nobody has a ticket or whatever. That's never fun. So
or somebody's missing. But check with us. We'll help you with rentals. We'll help you with tickets if you're renting from us. And we will see, the 3 of us will be back here Monday night and see you then.
Yep.
Okay.
See y'all.
Good night, all.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, guys, so much for your help.
You bet.
All right.